February 9th, 2024. This is the money line grind. I got 3 locks for you today. 3 great solid picks. I always like my picks, obviously. But first, let's recap last night. We split. We went 1-1, but we actually split the money too. We didn't lose anything and we didn't gain anything, and I'll explain. First game that we had, the Heat score under 107.5. That was plus 100, so you got even money there. The Heat only score 100 points. The second pick was LeBron James, at least 25 points. He doesn't play, but I think if he did play, he would have got there. It was a high-scoring game, so that bet voids. So we get the money back there. And then our loss was Brandon Ingram to score at least, over 20.5, so he had to get at least 21. He had 17, so we lose the unit there. But since we gained the full even bet on the first one that we won, we don't lose anything last night. You never want to go backwards. Sometimes you got to go 1 step backward, 2 steps forward. But yesterday was just a wash your hands with it, which is good. We had 2 or 3 attempts to make money. We took those attempts. We didn't lose anything with free shots. But let's get to the point. Why you're here. 3 picks for tonight. And I'm starting with a fade. Sometimes you got to fade the beard on the weekends. I'm taking James Harden under 24.5 points plus rebounds. They're at home, but they're playing the Bulls. This is minus 120 on FanDuel. Now, both the Bulls and the Clippers play at a pretty slow pace. Bulls are slowest pace road team in the league, and the Clips are 10th slowest in pace. So we're looking at a decline in possessions, especially when you consider that the Clippers lately aren't really crashing the offensive boards. They're the 3rd worst in offensive rebounds over the last 5. Harden has been pretty good in March, but the Bulls have allowed the least amount of points to opposing point guards at about 13.7, which is really low, considering Harden's averaging around 20 this month. Let's also look at, this is an early Saturday game. Now, this is my theory. This is the Dame theory, the money line grind theory. It's an early Saturday game, 1 p.m. game in LA, and I joke around about fading Harden on the weekends, but the guy has a great social life. He might have been up late last night, and this season, he's played 6 games on Saturday. And when playing on Saturdays, mind you, normally they're Saturday night, so you might have a little bit more time to rehydrate and get some rest. So he's shooting 36.5% from the field and 25% from 3, averaging 12.7 points per game on Saturdays and 5 rebounds. So we're looking at 17-18 right there. We have a 33% insurance delta from what he averages on Saturday to what we need on the under. We're fading the beard for the money. Second pick, I'm taking Cade Cunningham over 22.5 points. They're at home, taking on the Dallas Mavericks. This is minus 135 on BetMGM. And yep, we're taking the Pistons' #1 option at home versus the Dallas team who doesn't guard opposing guards pretty well. Donovan Mitchell had 31, quickly at 28, Jaylen Brown 25, and Terry Rozier went nuclear last game. I think he had 27, but he had like 10 assists also. He was just having his way with the Dallas defense. In Cade's 8 games since the All-Star break, he's reached 21 points in 7 of them, but to this line is actually got to get to 23. So we'll look at that. He's hit 23 points in 6 out of the last 8. And I mentioned he's a #1 option. He gets his shots up since the All-Star break. He's averaging 18.25 field goal attempts point game. 7 of those field goal attempts are from beyond the arc. So he's shooting 7 threes a game, where he's shooting 48% from 3 in his last 5. So almost a 50% clip. Let's say he's at home, so maybe he shoots 8 of them. You're going to get 9 to 12 points off of 3-pointers alone. We know he's going to get to the line because he's aggressive. I like this pick. In the last 5 games, the Mavs have allowed the most 3-pointers made and the 3rd highest 3-point percentage. We like Cade to get us paid. That's all I got for you on that one. And our last pick, I was a little torn on RJ Barrett over 21.5 points in Portland, minus 125 on points bet. That is now like Fanatics bet or something weird like that, but that app is where I got this one at. And I wanted to take the Raptors money line or minus 1.5, but I'm sticking with RJ Barrett because I like the numbers behind it. The math is mathing. Looking at about 110 to 115 points today in today's game for the Raptors. And in the last 6 games, RJ Barrett's averaged about 20% of the output of the Raptors' total points. Blazers also in a back-to-back, and I feel like there'll be a little bit slower pace and a little slower to get back on transition, and that's going to be my third point, talking about the Blazers in transition. But first, RJ has reached 22 points in 5 of his last 6. We know he can hit the 3, and he can attack the rim. Now, transition in this game is especially interesting because the Blazers allow the highest field goal percentage when they're playing at home, which is weird. You would think Blazers in Portland, they normally have great home court. But they're the worst at defending the rim in transition. RJ Barrett happens to be the eighth highest scoring transition player in transition. So he gets the eighth most transition points per game, which is only about a little under 7 points per game, but 7 out of he averages about 20 come in transition. These guys think in transition, and they're playing a back-to-back. They might be a little bit slower. I like RJ as my third pick. And that's all I have for you guys. Those are my 3 picks. As always, I did put them on a parlay, but then I added the Raptors spread in there. I think it might have been -3. And you can see here on DraftKings, they bumped up the RJ line to 22.5. So go to PointsBet to get it at the 21.5. I put it here because I got a better parlay out of it. You see plus 1055. So $10 wins you 115. Happy Saturday. Enjoy your Saturday. Get your bets in early. Enjoy your Saturday. Check in on the scores. Or if you're like me, you love watching all the games, schedule your games, have your devices going, because you got money on the line now. You got skin in the game. These guys are out there trying to earn us some free money while we sit on our ass or not. Take care. I'll see you guys tomorrow.